Who are you thinking? Usyk, Dubois?
Well, look, I think this now totally different fight than first fight. In first fight, Dubois was outboxed, outclassed, and now I think he's definitely different type of fighter, and he had 3 great wins, and his confidence is much better, much bigger. He did something with his chin. I don't know what, but his chin is better, and he's totally different fighter. But so I expect totally different fight and much harder fight for Usyk than the first fight. I still favor Usyk slightly, but I wouldn't be surprised if Daniel Dubois win that. And I know if that you guys Britons gonna do everything to help Daniel to win that. And if it's gonna be close fight, I think it will be better for him. And yeah, I think it will be great fight, much harder for Usyk than the first one.
Yeah, it'll be a good fight. I think obviously he's the undisputed. It's a fight. Who's your money on?
Listen, I'm not going to say that. What I will say is I wouldn't be truly shocked if Daniel does do it. I wouldn't be. Do you know what I mean? I can see it.
Okay, listen, so that's another way of saying Usyk's going to win, but
you have to make
surprised.
Usyk a favourite.
Yeah.
You have to make Usyk a favourite, but I just think...
It's going to be a good fight.
I just think, personally, the rematches with Anthony and Tyson, Usyk they were thinking a lot, but they were thinking a lot, and they tried to outthink him. I think, with all respect to Daniel, a strength of his, he actually doesn't think that much. So, and he's on a different momentum. He's a different fighter. So you can see a route for Daniel to win this fight.
Yeah.
What about you?
It'll be good. I think it's going to be a good fight. And I kind of echo what you just said. I think Usyk has enough and does enough to nullify and obviously beat Dubois. But it's not a surprise if Dubois comes out on top. But I think that's what makes it so sweet, though, isn't it? It's the heavyweight scene, man. Everyone's a big boy. We're all big boys. All trading level, always on it.
If he's proven anything, that he's got some grit, determination, and heart, because he's that comeback where he had a bit of a fall off with the Joyce thing, and then with even the loss to Usyk and all the comeback and the full U-turn, the full 360 he's done with his career has been fantastic to watch. So we're all very big boys. We all hit very hard, and he's obviously getting better and better with each fight. So he's riding on the biggest cloud of confidence at the moment. So yeah, you'd give him a strong chance in that fight.
Did you think that Usyk Dubois first fight, that was a low blow or not? I don't actually know your opinion.
I did. I mean, personally, I keep seeing the photos. At the time of the punch, I believe it was low. Was it borderline? Yes. Were his trunks high? Maybe. So for me, I did think that it was below the shorts. Where's the navel? Where's all this kind? Was it Louis Pabon? Was he the referee?
Correct.
Does he have to say, look, we can't see your navel, you got to pull your shorts down?
He didn't do any of that.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
Don't mention his name around Frank.
Oh, Louis Pabon. Okay.
Whatever you do, don't mention.
But one thing I will say is, Usyk don't like it to the body, and he was probably lucky, because even if it was 3 or 4 inches higher, I think it would have had the same effect that it had.
And it would have gone on.
It didn't hit him in the nuts. Put it that way.
He went on Piers Morgan, didn't they, a couple of weeks ago after the fight, and they played it back, and it was here, it was right there. That's where it was. You see it on there. All the photographs. It depends where they decide they want to stop, where the punch is coming from, and where it lands. But listen, do you know what? All of that now is irrelevant. He's got to, Daniel, on the 19th. What he's got to do the 19th of July is show what he's all about. He knows that he can hurt him. And Usyk knows that as well.
He's a completely different fighter now.
He is. Well, they said it, their team. They're not fighting Daniel the boy, they're fighting Daniel the man.
Phenomenal performance against one of the best of our generation. He done really well to go up against him and push Oleksandr Usyk in certain ways. Oleksandr Usyk's a good opponent. The thing where Daniel struggled, obviously, with southpaw, Daniel couldn't get his jab off, which is one of his main weapons, and his right hand off, because a southpaw, they're a bit further back because their stance is different. So you have to kind of counter with the right hand, and Daniel couldn't get his main weapons off, so he struggled a little bit. But it's cool. Came back, beat Jarrell Miller, big, strong, heavy guy. Beat Filip Hrgovic, who was apparently the boogeyman of the division. So he's done well to be in this position now after that. He's done well. Oleksandr Usyk fight, unlucky, came up short, but he's done well to bounce back.
Do you think it was a legal shot against Usyk or not?
I don't know. It's not. It don't matter what I say. It don't matter. What do you think?
I thought it was very close.
Do you think it was illegal or not?
Referee's discretion. It was on the cup line.
No,
so
you.
I think it's on referee's discretion. I think if some referees call it legal...
So your opinion doesn't matter then?
I think more people are more interested in your opinion.
But I'm interested in yours.
If the referee called it legal...
No. You.
Either way, I think. Either way. Because some could argue Usyk wears his shorts high.
You.
I'll say it was legal.
It was legal.
We can call it legal.
Illegal?
No, legal.
Okay, legal.
Oh, yeah, you must have an opinion as well.
Probably legal. It's a fight. You get hit round the belt, you get hit round the leg. I think it is what it is. He got hit and he went down. Legal.
He did great. He did great in the Anthony Joshua fight, and he's going to be right up there with those guys as well. His fight with Usyk was a controversy punch. You know, some people felt as if the punch that was counted low was legal. So, you know, who knows how the fighter go if they fight again.
A big chance. I would still have Usyk as the favourite, but Daniel has the chance in the fight. We look at how the first fight went with the body shot or whatever it was. I still think it was borderline, and what I do think is I think the shot was okay, right? But I think that Usyk took advantage of the situation, being where he was in Poland, close to the Ukrainian border, kind of seen as the home fighter. He just used his experience, had a rest, really, regrouped, and got back up, and we seen what happened. He won the fight. Now, I think if the referee had have started to count, I imagine Usyk would have got up and continued to box on. But I just think he used his wisdom and his experience to kind of say it was a low one, hit him on the clinkers or whatever. But Daniel's a better fighter than he was then. He is now, and I think the work that he's continuing to do with Don Charles and Kieran Farrell as well, who maybe doesn't get mentioned as well. I think that's a great, just a good solid team. I mean, at the start when Kieran Farrell got introduced to the team, you're kind of, I imagine everybody was like me, raising their eyebrows, like what's this all about? But Don Charles is the big man who knows how to train heavyweights. He knows how to get the heavyweights fundamentals correct. And then you've got someone like Kieran Farrell who kind of comes in and beasts you a bit, hard pad sessions, faster stuff, which is important for a big heavyweight as well. It's sometimes forgotten about in that division. So I think Daniel is in a better position to win this fight if it comes off than he was going into the first one.
And how does he win that fight, though, Carl? Because obviously the obvious answer is just impose yourself, land that big shot, which I guess you could argue he nearly did in that first fight with that body shot, and take Usyk out there. But many have tried that twice sometimes and failed. So what is the keys here for Daniel to victory?
I mean, Usyk's a genius. He's one of my favourite fighters of all time, really. And I think what he's done in his career is absolutely remarkable. And already he is probably one of the all-time greats, just in terms of what he's done as a cruiserweight and as a heavyweight in so many fights. 23, I think he became undisputed. 23 fights, he was undisputed in both divisions. Incredible, really. But I think what Daniel has to do is he's not winning points unless there's a few knockdowns or something like that. Usyk is a master boxer, can figure people out on the night as well, and has a look at them and kind of works out what he has to do. But Daniel's jab would be very, very important in this fight. He's got one of the most underrated jabs probably in world boxing. Just a ramrod of a jab. It's fast and it's powerful. And then we have seen a little bit of vulnerability to Usyk's body. So be nailing the body when you get the chance. But I think they impose his size really, and try to drag Usyk into a bit of a dogfight really is what's best for Daniel Dubois, rather than boxing him at a distance. Even though he's a bigger man, Usyk is cute enough to kind of evade anything, I think, from a distance. So get close, use your weight on him, be hammering him with that jab all night, and when you get the chance to go to the body, do that as well.
How much of a chance do you give him against Oleksandr Usyk?
Massive chance. He's got so much confidence at the moment, and a confident fighter is a dangerous fighter because he believes he can do no wrong, and he's that good. He's strong. He's a big puncher. He needs to be respected. You know, he's got a deceptively, I don't say he's of the skill set of an Oleksandr Usyk, but he's a good enough boxer to disrupt Usyk because he's got power. He's got a terrific jab. Daniel's got a good jab. A lot of people don't give him praise for that jab, or a lot of people do, but some people don't. I've been in there with him. He's got a very good jab. If he can establish his jab and have the power that he has behind those punches, he could definitely get Usyk's respect. But if he lets Usyk build a rhythm, Oleksandr Usyk is one of the greatest of our eras. He beat Tyson Fury. You know, obviously the first fight, I thought it was a lot closer. Second fight was close too, but he did what he had to do. He's a great boxer. You know, he had Tyson hurt in the first fight. In the second fight, he didn't really have Tyson hurt, but he's got the ability to adapt. And I think if he can find his rhythm, if you allow Oleksandr Usyk to find his rhythm, it's a very hard night for anybody. He's done it against AJ. He's done it against Daniel. He did it against Tyson. He's one of the fighters who can adapt to the power, being the smaller man, and find his way and his rhythm. So if Daniel's going to go in there and box Oleksandr Usyk, I wouldn't advise that. He's got to make it a dogfight. But in doing that, you take a lot of risks because Oleksandr Usyk thrives off that kind of stuff and those type of mistakes because he's a terrific counter puncher. But does Daniel have a chance? Most definitely. You can never count him out. He's a very powerful puncher. He's got a good, I believe, since he teamed up with Don Charles and his team, I think he has evolved. Not to take anything away from Shane McGuigan because he's also a very good trainer, but maybe Don Charles and Daniel are more suited, and he's given him the confidence to go to maybe the next level. So makes for a good fight. But Oleksandr Usyk right now is the man. So if Daniel Dubois beats Oleksandr Usyk, that is huge. But I think Usyk's had 2 hard fights. You know, you got to say to yourself, he's had 2 hard fights against Tyson. So how much of those fights have taken a lot out of him going into the fight with a younger, stronger man? You cannot take away the fact that Daniel he's younger and he's stronger. So how much have those 2 fights, those 2 12-1 wars with Tyson taken out of Oleksandr Usyk? He's had a lot of amateur experience. He's got a lot of mileage on the clock. But I think he's a clean living guy. So listen, it makes for a great fight.
I knew we was going to win that fight. Anthony Joshua eviscerated him.
Seek and destroy. That's how I fight.
This is the guy ready to take the throne.
2 semi-finals. You had Usyk fighting Fury, you had Dubois fighting AJ. This is like the final.
This rematch against Usyk is completely different.
Taking place
at Wembley Stadium, 90,000+ people.
All the belts on the line.
In front of a global audience, live on DAZN.
Now we have a chance to see who is the best.
It's going to be something special.
Do not blink.